Acha. Okay, we reached out to some of these real estate companies and we've got statements from some of them. Shapurji Palunji, who's a contractor working on the Trump Tower, whose laborers we saw there earlier, said that the workers have been asked to stay put since transport has been suspended. The company is providing rations, medical checkup and wages. They say they welcome the government's revised guidelines for starting construction work, but they're concerned that a section of workmen would like to visit families. They also said liquidity constraints are likely to delay recovery efforts and that it would take humongous amounts of efforts by all stakeholders and a minimum of 6 months before operations could return to normal. Also, Perfect Buildwell, who are the developers for the Zara Awas project that we featured in our story, said that the lockdown has impacted construction work and will resume work only under new guidelines. Responses from Ansal and Imar are still awaited. All right, joining us tonight on Reality Check, we have with us Niranjan Hiranandani, President of NAREDCO, which is the National Real Estate, the federation, the body, the apex body for real estate. Samir Jasuja, who's founder of Prop Equity, which is the real estate research firm. And Ramendra Kumar, who's the Secretary General of the Shramik Sangathan and also member of Delhi Building Welfare Board. So Niranjan Hiranandani, as you saw that in our report, and you have, I'm sure, your own projects as well, that this is going to be a big challenge as now the attempt is to get these real estate projects back to work. A lot of the cases, the workers have left, and in the cases where they've stayed back, they are upset and restless. They want to go home first.
Srinivas, absolutely 100% correct. We have both the cases, people who have already left and people who are desperate to leave. We've been looking after these workers on our sites. I have almost 4,000 workers on my sites, but almost 2,500 have already left. Workers. So we are with 4,000 workers with whom we provide rations, we give them food, we take taking care of their welfare, taking temperatures and doing things like that. But they're very, very upset, and it's very difficult to hold them. Number two, many of them are planning to go back also because the agriculture operations in harvesting and sowing are starting. So many of them would like to leave also because of that. And that is why we represented to the government and the Home Ministry to start the construction operation very quickly, because it's not going to be possible to hold these workers back beyond 20th under any circumstances. So we will have to start the work, otherwise it would be very difficult to hold these workers back.
Okay, you're saying you will have to start the work at least by the 20th, but Samir Jasuja, this is going to be a huge challenge because your own data you were sharing with us, and we can put up some of that numbers on the screen if we have them, that we're talking of hundreds of projects that have been stalled just in the National Capital Region alone.
So when we look at the national average, we're talking about 9,800 projects consisting of 1.75 million units which are under construction, and I'm not including the projects that had been stalled earlier because of lack of finance. So this problem is quite humongous. I'm talking about 42 cities over here, and 65% of all the numbers that I'm talking about is coming from the tier 1 cities. But also I'd like to point out one more important fact, that the national average delay of project completion was roughly about 1.5 to 2 years. So the customers really are quite used to, unfortunately, of getting projects a little delayed, and this will cause a further delay of 3 to 6 months for projects to get completed. I think the larger challenge that I see is sales. So if the sales start to plummet, there'll be a financial crisis for these projects to be able to generate cash flows, to be able to start the construction work besides getting the labor back. So there are two challenges we face. One is the labor on the ground, but the equally big challenge that has to be looked at is also the sales starting to pick up, because as we all know, the real estate industry has been going through a tough period ever since the IL&FS crisis, and sales have been slow. And when we looked at the data, we divided this into 3 buckets, really: ready to move in stock, old under construction stock, and the new launches of reputed developers. So ready to move in was anyway selling, and roughly there are about 100 odd thousand units which are ready and can be sold, and developers should probably offer good rates for those projects to start generating cash flows. That's very important as well. And as far as new launches of developers were concerned, they were doing pretty well because they were of reputed developers, and also there was some kind of subvention schemes. So it will be very important for the government to bring back the subvention scheme for sales to start to pick up, for these labor to then come back, and for the developers to be able to finance the construction.
Right. But, the main point is, Ramendra Kumarji, that if you saw the sites that we were confronted with when we entered that labor camp of Shapurji Pallonji, which is for the Trump project, literally hundreds of workers came out, gathered. We were trying to tell them, don't come out because it's unsafe. But they were willing to still take that risk because there is that much frustration and they feel they're completely locked up. So is it correct that some of these property real estate companies say that they were taken care of? Or is there serious questions about how they've been actually kept?
See, Mr. Srinivasan, I think during your interview with laborers, you have rightly said that it is these workers who have built the city, who have built the infrastructure of the city, built our houses, or one sentence we can say that they have made the city livable. But we and our system have made them beggars. We have pushed them to be in the queue to just one pot of khichdi or dalia. See, whatever the builders are saying, I think it is whose responsibility to register these workers with the State Construction Worker Welfare Board. If you see the section 13 and 14 of the Building and Other Construction Worker Act 1996, it simply says that it is the responsibility of the employer to register all the construction workers with the concerned State Welfare Board. Even if you see the Supreme Court order dated 19th March 2018, it simply says that yes, this is the point.
Yeah,
but
they
have failed.
That's the point. I know you're saying there are many points. Can I just get Niranjan Hiranandani on that? Let me just get him to respond to that. That Mr. Hiranandani, isn't this the problem that crores of workers are not registered with the welfare board? They don't even have an idea about it. So this idea that there's this huge bailout package that's going to help them simply doesn't work.
But that's not correct. We have been paying crores of rupees to the government on this thing, and all our labor is registered. I'm not trying to say that everyone is registered. Almost, as you said correctly, only 50% of the people are registered on an all-India basis. But in the urban areas and the city centers, certainly most of the people who are dealing, at least in Mumbai center and the western side, are registered completely. And that is why you have 4,000 crores of rupees lying with Maharashtra government, only because we have paid the labor cess to the government, but those monies are not yet spent. So 30,000 crores are collected from us for the purposes of the labor, and still today they are not spent. So we are asking that this money should be spent on the labor. That's the idea. So they are registered. That is why this money was paid to the government for the purposes against our contract we have given.
Okay, you're saying that you are paying crores of rupees. Yes, Mr. Kumar, yes.
Yes, should I say?
Yes, Mr. Kumar.
Yes, see, the total 52,000 crores have been collected by all the 37 state welfare boards. Around 39,000 crores are left. I mean, it is a balance amount which I am quoting here. But they see their role in giving 1% cess of the total project cost. But what is the role of the employer, the contractors? It is their role to see on every 15th of the month they have to submit like the return of the total number of employees of their project to the concerned labor department. How many of these project holders or the employer have submitted these returns? They don't. They never submitted. Even the labor department. The problem doesn't only lie with the employer. The labor department and the welfare boards, they are also very pessimistic. Their attitude is totally negative with regards to labor. They are not very concerned with the idea of welfare. And they have not.
If I have 30 seconds. If I just have 30 seconds, if I want to quickly get a quick word in from Sameer Jasuja, because Sameer, even before the coronavirus lockdown, real estate already hit badly by a slowdown. Does the government, where is the government's bailout package? Whether it's for the workers, for all workers, not just those registered with the board, for real estate as a whole. How is it going to recover?
We are given to understand that the Honorable Finance Minister is going to be coming in on Saturday to come out with some kind of relief package, and there is going to be something in store for the real estate sector as well. Okay. I think there is a lot that needs to be done by the government for this sector because, as we all know, it contributes a huge amount to the GDP and creates a huge amount of employment. But having said that, we've been going through one bad time after the other. And now, literally, this is breaking our backs. So we really need a lot of support from the government for us to come out of this.
Okay. Well, it's not just real estate. Everyone's waiting for some kind of bailout. And we keep hearing of meetings, Prime Minister, Finance Minister, nothing yet. Let's wait and see. We're completely out of time. Thank you all, gentlemen, so much for joining us. That's all the time we have on Reality Check. Thanks for watching. Good night.